From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Steve Rudin from WJLA in Washington, D.C. We begin in the south where a line of powerful storms ripped across the area on Thursday. Tornadoes along with heavy rain brought localized flooding. Over 200,000 were without power this morning. This is the scene in Athens, Alabama, just south of the Tennessee border. The National Weather Service confirmed 3 tornadoes in the Tennessee Valley. It's not yet clear if damage was caused by one or just straight-line winds. So far, no reports of injuries. The storm also impacted neighboring Georgia. We turn to Courtney Francisco, who is about 70 miles north of Atlanta, for more.
Chainsaws screamed where trapped families tried to dig each other out of the LJ Mountains and start repairs.
It's just terrible. I don't think at least this part of town, seen anything like this in a long, long time.
Brian Pintoja was inside with his little brothers and parents when this tree fell into their home Wednesday before midnight.
It was almost instant. The wind came, tree fell, and then it kind of died down.
That's when Gilmer County Fire Chief Daniel Kaufman said the calls for help started pouring into 911. One family was trapped.
We had to get crews on foot. They were able to get inside and evacuate the family to safety.
That, paired with flooded roads and washed out culverts county-wide, have continued to cause problems throughout the day Thursday.
Currently trying to make access to a patient for a medical issue, and there are multiple trees down, so we're having access problems at this point.
Emergency management said at one point up to 30 roads were closed.
There may be more than that because we continuously get reports. Washout roads, culverts washing out under roads. So it's just going to be a continued mess throughout the day as we try to mitigate as many of these issues as we have.
You have to walk up to get to Pintoja's house, where trees did not just fall on the home or the car, but in perfect rows all around the property.
I'm thankful that it's not as bad as it is. You know, everybody's okay.
Strong to severe storms will continue to impact parts of the South today. Areas from Mississippi to Florida will be impacted, along with some of North and South Carolina. Extreme Northeast Florida is under an enhanced risk for the strongest storms, some that may produce tornadoes. Be sure to stay weather alert, especially later this afternoon and into the evening. In Brazil, the death toll is on the rise after catastrophic floods hit the southernmost part of the country. Nearly 110 are reported dead. Many more are missing. Here's how the flooded streets appeared yesterday. Another round of very heavy rain is in the forecast again today. In North Carolina, some residents are describing Wednesday afternoon's hailstorm as the largest that they've ever seen. This is what it was left in its wake. As the hailstorm moved through, eyewitnesses reported softball-sized hail smashing into cars and buildings. In Tennessee, cleanup continues after a powerful EF3 tornado in Murray County earlier this week, leaving 1 dead. The twister destroyed at least 40 homes and damaged about 100 more. Dennis Ferrier talked to some tornado survivors who are looking forward to recovery.
When a tornado looks like this, you know it's trouble. It's big, it's powerful, it's on the ground, and it's heading your way. Mike Petro is trying to get back to his neighborhood, a neighborhood in instant terror after that tornado hit.
Total. It's bad. Can't even get through it. Power lines. All community came together for about 45 minutes to an hour just clearing one tree off the road.
This is the only home Tammy Johnson has ever known. 66 years here, all wiped away in moments.
I guess the whole front end up there, it blew out.
Tammy is just happy to get out alive with her beloved dog, although she can't imagine what her late parents would think.
I'm just glad my mom and dad's not here to see it.
There is no unseeing what happened at Meadow Hill Farm Weddings. This beautiful venue took a terrifying hit, and the owners wrote about their heartbreak on Instagram. Quote, "It's a nightmare we can't wake up from. 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears. 90-hour weeks touching every inch of that property with our hands. Couples, we will be reaching out to you, but please give us a moment to get through the shock of this. We love you all." Might take more than a moment. Neighborhoods like this take at least a year for restoration, often longer. When why me becomes what's next. Mike Petro couldn't wait any longer. He decided to walk the long 2 miles to his home, the first steps of an even longer journey.
Just be community with unity, and that's it, Come together, have patience, and just rebuild.
Take a look at these images from Portage, Michigan before Tuesday's very strong EF2 tornado left behind a trail of damage and destruction. Winds were estimated to have been about 135 miles per hour. These before and after images show the destruction the powerful tornado caused. It only took seconds for the storm to mangle roofs, snap trees, and destroy buildings. Severe weather can turn dangerous at any time, including at night. Meteorologist Jeff Exline has tips on how to prepare when the forecast calls for overnight strong to severe storms.
Earlier this week, portions of eastern Ohio and the northern panhandle of West Virginia experienced an EF2 tornado, and it occurred overnight at 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, thankfully, there are no serious injuries or fatalities, as these overnight tornadoes can catch people off guard and they can turn deadly. Now, here's a checklist that you should have, and just when severe weather is expected overnight, especially. Anytime of the day, though, make sure you know your severe weather plan. If tornadoes are expected and a tornado warning is issued, where do you go? Into a basement. If you don't have a basement, get into an interior room, such as a closet. Get away from windows. And overnight tornadoes, make sure you have your phone on, make sure it's charged, and make sure you have your wireless alerts enabled. Have a flashlight, have shoes by your bed, and you may want to pack a bag, have it ready with non-perishable foods, just so you're ready in the case that severe weather and tornado warnings would be issued.
Clouds are a big component when it comes to weather. We talk about it all the time here on the National Weather Desk. Meteorologist Dave Derricks tells us about what resembles a state fair.
Have you ever seen one of these clouds before? Looks kind of like a funnel cloud. An important distinguishing factor is the lack of any rotation. Scud clouds. They take on a ragged and sometimes cotton candy look and will form as rising air within a thunderstorm lifts warm and humid air at the surface. As the air rises, it cools, condenses, and a scud cloud forms and are oftentimes found at the leading edge of a storm. Now, when caught in a thunderstorm downdraft, the scud cloud will sometimes move faster than the storm cloud itself.
There's a good chance the northern lights may be visible in parts of the country this weekend. Green Bay meteorologist Patrick Powell explains why.
The northern lights look likely this upcoming weekend. We have seen multiple strong solar flares from a sunspot. Matter of fact, there's been 5 of them in the last 48 hours. The Space Weather Prediction Center has the KP index up to 8 on Friday and 6 on Saturday. We typically need about a 5 for the northern lights to be visible here in Wisconsin. And this may be one of the best chances to see the northern lights since 2004. So very good chance for this weekend, especially on Friday. Now, best bet for viewing them is to look northward and be away from city lights. In this particular case, especially Friday night, they may be more overhead. The northern lights look likely for Friday night, but just possible on Saturday night as well. And they may be seen as far south as Kentucky, Kansas, and parts of Ohio and southern Indiana. Here's the Aurora Oval from the Space Weather Prediction Center, showing that the likelihood of aurora is almost a certainty over almost all of Canada, North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, northern Wisconsin, and the Upper Peninsula. And the viewing line runs all the way down to Utah, northern Colorado, southern sections of Ohio, and southern Illinois. So very good opportunity to see the northern lights this weekend.
Check this out. A new telescope image shows what looks like a ghostly hand. It's about 1,300 light years away from Earth. The dark energy camera mounted on a telescope in Chile captured the stunning image. The isolated cosmic clouds are filled with dense gas and dust. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll show you what you should do if you're ever in the path of an incoming hurricane. And we'll explain why thunderstorms are so common this time of year.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with Look at the Northeast. We have a seasonably cool air mass hanging out in the Northeast in the coming days, and there will be some wet weather from time to time. Southern New England, parts of New York, you're seeing a little wet weather this morning. It's brighter off to the north. The afternoon will feature brighter skies developing for most areas, but temperatures, they will be running seasonably cool only in the 50s. It's a little bit better on Saturday. There's the chance for a few passing showers, but temperatures will be in the 50s and low 60s. So baby steps back to seasonable.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. We're going to be continuing our chances for some shower activity. Lots of clouds for your Friday, but we'll continue just 1 or 2 shower chances throughout the weekend as well. More of this to happen as we move into your Saturday, where we'll see some dry time likely in the middle of the day. Better chances for some rainfall as we move to the afternoon and evening. Temperatures a lot cooler for your Friday. Highs only in the low to mid 60s, upper 60s for highs on Saturday.
I'm meteorologist Vitas Reed. Here's a look at your southeast forecast highs for the day. We're looking at 82 in Raleigh, 81 in Charleston, a hot 90 in Mobile, 86 in Jacksonville, and then we're looking at very hot temperatures in West Palm, South Florida in the mid to upper 90s. We do have some thunderstorms that are going to move across South Georgia in the morning, but it looks like we are going to see that clear out a little bit in South Carolina still remaining. But by the evening on Friday, it looks like we're going to continue to see some clearing across the area, quieter conditions through parts of Florida in the weekend.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
It is Hurricane Awareness Week, and we have showed you how to prepare ahead of time. How do you stay safe during a hurricane when it's actually moving your way? Meteorologist Jennifer Collins has the answer.
So during the storm, make sure you have wireless emergency alerts enabled on your phone or have a portable weather radio, and pay attention to the latest forecast as conditions can change quickly. Even small changes in a storm's track can make a big difference, from impacts from storm surge, damaging winds and flooding, and even tropical tornadoes. And remember that these impacts can still be felt from far from the center of a storm and hundreds of miles away from the coast. Now, if tornado warnings are issued during the storm, the best thing you can do is put as many walls between you and the outside, like an interior room or bathroom. And if you shelter at your home and your house begins to flood, get higher in your home to escape. And if that floods, try to get onto the roof and call 911 at that point. Listen to your local officials and avoid travel unless ordered to evacuate. Evacuation orders may still be given during the storm, so leave immediately if ordered and follow those recommended evacuation routes. And be alert for road hazards such as debris, down power lines, and never drive through flood waters. There's no way to know what's in the water, and your car can even be swept away with only a foot of rushing water.
And we are in the middle of severe weather season across the country, and there's still plenty of chances for additional tornado outbreaks. Let's turn to my WJLA colleague, meteorologist Mark Pena, who recently posted about tornado warnings on TikTok.
Hey everybody, meteorologist Mark Pena here. We had a very active day of severe weather on Tuesday, May 7th, and it included several tornado warnings that were issued, National Weather Service tags on them. So I'm here to tell you what those are so you know what to look out for if you ever get underneath one. So this is what the radar looked like in southern Michigan yesterday, and notice that there's several storms with different types of tornado warnings. Now, these are all tornado warnings, but they've got different tags and different colors on them, so this is what these mean. So first one I'm going to talk about is just your tornado warning in this red box below me. This is usually radar indicated, not confirmed is basically what that means. There's radar indication that there's spinning in the atmosphere that could potentially lead to a tornado, and you want to make sure that you're taking cover. Tornado warnings like this can also be visually observed by law enforcement or trained spotters, and they're not going to be causing any damage. These are the ones that you see in the middle of nowhere or in the middle of a field, not really impacting anything. And then we get to tornado warnings with considerable tags that you see right there below the words tornado warning. This is where a tornado is on the ground, it's confirmed by a reliable source, and it's also causing damage to structures. And then we have tornado emergencies like you see in this purple box below me. This is where a tornado is observed, it's violent, and it's causing significant threats to life and property. So these are usually issued very rarely, but whenever they're hitting a pretty major population center. So those were the National Weather Service tags for tornado warnings, but there's also tags for severe thunderstorm warnings, and I'll have details on that one in another video.
Cicadas are popping up from the ground and causing quite a buzz. Meteorologist Joe DiCarlo posts more on his Instagram page.
The great cicada emergence of 2024, well, it is here in portions of the United States. 2 broods of cicadas making their presence known over the next several weeks. Through late June, trillions of cicadas will be emerging from the ground in a rare 221-year event where 2 broods come out at the same time. It's brood 13, brood 19. Brood 13 is prevalent in northern Illinois and the portions of the Midwest and the Great Lakes. Comes out every 17 years. Brood 19, more of a southern brood that comes out every 13 years. Rare double emergence, that will be in central Illinois over the next few weeks, so it is going to be loud. If you live in these regions, that's where we expect trillions of cicadas to make their emergence. They're coming out looking for a mate, so they're going to be loud the next few weeks. Again, that's through late June, double emergence of cicadas. If you're in that area, you see some, send them our way. Love to see those photos of those cicadas. They're loud. I remember seeing it back in 2007 when I used to live in Illinois. So enjoy the cicada emergence. It's a rare phenomenon.
And if you're looking for more content on weather, be sure to check us out on your social media pages. We have several social media pages across the board on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Mother's Day is this Sunday. If you're looking for a last-minute gift, why not think about something weather-related? Here's meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael with some great ideas.
What is up, everyone? What a beautiful day it is. A lot of the country's been dealing with above normal temperatures, and we're heading into Mother's Day weekend. So I was curious, what's an uncommon Mother's Day gift? I asked my coworkers what they thought.
Oh, non-traditional Mother's Day gift?
Roller skates.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm saying roller skates because my mom asked for roller skates. I'm like, if you break something on my watch, I'm going to be mad.
A hairdryer.
That's a great gift.
Well, that was Katie McKee and Phil Kelly. And you know, you could get mom maybe a bouquet of flowers or a card, but what about planting her some flowers or maybe a tree? Turns out it's not that uncommon. I stopped by Darby Creek Nursery and talked to the owner, Jeff Turnbull, and he said flowers and anything you plant in the ground is actually pretty common for Mother's Day.
Well, Buck, one of the biggest things we get are hanging baskets, and you know, the cocoa liner baskets that are combination pots, those are great. Porch pots, you know, moms like anything that can draw butterflies, hummingbirds, anything like that. It's easier for her to take care of. But you know, also we get a lot of requests for weeping cherries, dogwoods, any kind of flowering tree that they can plant in the yard for mom so she can see it, you know, for the next 20-30 years.
So there you go. If you're looking for a last minute idea, at least I gave you something. And boy, there's so many colors out there right now. And now that most of the country is looking frost free, should be good to plant whatever you want outside.
And it's another big weekend for motorsports. Meteorologist Brandon Lawson has the weather forecast for some of the biggest races across the country.
It is Throwback Weekend in Darlington, South Carolina, also alongside Mother's Day. I mentioned Throwback Weekend because we are going to be seeing those throwback schemes this weekend for the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series. All series in action this weekend, so let's get right into your forecast. If you're going to be out in Darlington on Friday, it is going to look a little gloomy. This is what it's going to look like. Lots of clouds overhead, and unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with some rain chances too, especially later in the end of the day. So I am worried about the Truck Series practice and qualifying. Even the race could have some delays, if not postponed to Saturday. So just a heads up there. Just have some plans to maybe get to the truck race on Saturday if they do have to move the race due to rain. Definitely looks like a sloppy start to the weekend. Luckily, Saturday itself, we do drive things out. A mix of sun and clouds. It's comfortable. Temperatures in the 70s in Darlington this time of year. Yes, we'll take that. Gorgeous weather on Saturday for the Xfinity Series, and if they have to do the truck race on Saturday as well. Cup Series racing on Sunday. Perfect race. I think the forecast is going to be great for it. 80s, a bit hotter for Sunday, kind of typical for this time of year. Wear the sunscreen, but it should be dry. I'm meteorologist Brandon Lawson. Enjoy the race.
And before a short break, we take flight over Buffalo Hills, Elk Ranch, Nebraska.
I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael taking a look at your weather story over the next few days here. Our next weather maker across the northern plains here, going to be a little bit of light rain, potentially later into the day today. That sneaks its way down into the Ohio Valley for the day tomorrow. Look at the plains. Sunshine all the way across the plains with a lot of upper 70s, low 80s. Could get a couple of thunderstorms starting to move, though, into Nebraska and Kansas on Sunday, while that sunshine shifts more towards the Ohio Valley for your Sunday Mother's Day.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Nice and cool all the way up here from Amarillo back over to Oklahoma City, but still pretty oppressive as you get down toward the south, particularly from Brownsville back over to Louisiana. Cold front draped across the region will create some hit and miss showers throughout the day. Temperatures will be much cooler than they were yesterday. We'll be warming up to slightly summer levels. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. That's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there in TGIF, everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell, heading into our Friday with at least a warm wave, if not a heat wave, in parts of the PNW. Portland soaring to nearly 90 today. The Emerald City right behind that with 82 in Seattle. Coastal sections of California back into the 60s with the marine air in place. And meanwhile, over the Four Corners, still some rain and snow showers if you go high up enough in Utah and Colorado. And that's the scene from here.
The National Weather Desk.
We have all heard the term April showers bring May flowers, but why are thunderstorms so common this time of year? Let's head over to Brandon Stover.
You might have heard the old adage, tornadoes occur when warm air clashes into cold air. That may be a broad generalization, but there is certainly some truth to it. The jet stream, a fast ribbon of wind way up above us, is especially energized when there's a sharper temperature contrast, which can still happen in spring as winter is trying its best to linger some. The strong jet stream, in turn, can allow for stronger low-pressure systems to form, and since the sun angle is getting higher this time of the year, more heat and humidity can boil underneath. That overlapping of fast winds atop an unstable atmosphere can allow for intense thunderstorms. You see a big increase in tornadoes in March and April, but it peaks out in May. The notorious spot being the Central Plains, but they can occur about anywhere. While warm and humid conditions are vital for stronger thunderstorms, it's that wind shear supplied by the jet stream that can really give storms longevity by separating the updraft from the downdraft. Keep in mind, though, a storm doesn't have to be severe to be dangerous, as they all produce lightning.
Thank you so much for looking in this morning. I'm glad you're able to join me. I'm meteorologist Steve Rudin from WJLA in Washington, D.C. Have a good weekend and happy Mother's Day to those with us and in memory. Good day.